All right, family. Black Power is the truth hour with General Sarasun Seti. Kick back, get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. That's right, family. Is going down tomorrow. The secret connection between Thanksgiving and Christmas. A cult breakdown that'll blow your mind. Most definitely be in the house. Link right there in the chat, right there in the video description. Click that link. Begin to think. I want to see you tomorrow, front row and center. Get your ticket today, family. I'm excited and delighted to be accepting members to the Sarah Soon Seti YouTube page, a dynamic page. Y'all know what it is. Black power, black frequency. You feeling that frequency and energy, you should most definitely join. Even if you don't, I appreciate your presence here at the Sarah Soon Seti YouTube page. Continue to engage, continue to advance. That's right, family. Ring the alarm. KingSeti.com, online marketplace, official General Sarah Soon Seti DVD lectures, t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry, holistic tonics and remedies, home decor, accessories for every room in the house, family. 25% off selected items at this time. Save and shop, shop and save. Wait a minute. I didn't even put it on there. Why I didn't do that? Yeah, let me put it up there, family. What am save and shop, shop and save. That's right, family. KingSeti.com. Pull the fire alarm. GeneralSeti.com. Seti University. Over 1,200 videos of pure heat, fire, all the subject that you know and love from the general man. Is tons of information on the site. Plus, we got the supplemental, monumental, instrumental research material from the Grandmaster teacher, summing it up. You got the general with an overview on the Grandmaster teachers, making this 360 degrees of supreme African wisdom and knowledge that cannot be compared to by any other website on the planet. Check me out today, GeneralSeti.com. Everybody knows Seti popping on Patreon, dropping them nuclear bombs on Patreon. There, you see, got nothing but fire on every treasure chest. You dig your hand down in there, ain't nothing but Jews coming out. Where at? Dig down in there on Patreon. Got these exclusive live streams. You can see the general live. You see, all you have to do is tune in, put the notification on, and just like YouTube, when I go live, you'll get a notification. Hey, and I'm dropping it. You could believe that, and so, yeah, Patreon. And to all my family out there, support the general, donated. I want to thank you. I appreciate you for appreciating me. Any other family out there want to donate to the general, keep the general on the battlefield. Donation button right there in the chat, right there in the video description. And I thank you ahead of time. Make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels. King Seti, General Seti, Sarasun Seti. Rock that notification bell. Get a video a thumbs up, like it because you love it. Share with your family and friends. And comment. Just don't say nothing stupid, because I will ban your ass. Now, it says, was Solomon in the Bible a sorcerer? Was he a sorcerer? Did he control 72 demons and jinns? This is what they say. But we're going to break this down, family. We're going to break this down. Y'all already know. We're going to cut right on off into this. It's an esoterical understanding, but we're gonna get right through it without no problem. We're gonna get through it without, and we just setting up, an opportunity to continue to do research in this area. And we need to know it. They all around us with their little signs and symbols, putting all type of foul energies, frequencies in the air. You see, you got to baptize these motherfuckers. You feel me? You can't let them come over here with their magic and shit and put some shit on you. And so, being, looking at symbols all my life, I say, let me look, I've been researching him But I know that this is like some what his name? Hermes Trismegistus, and you create these characters that you give all this wisdom and all, and there's individuals out here like Tahuti, you see, and other, gods of wisdom, and some sorcery. They wasn't just gods, they were more like goddamn they were more like magicians and wizards, okay? More like magicians and wizards. Odin was one of those gods. And, when he used the runes, it wasn't like he just said be and it was. He had the knowledge of the runes, so he shook the runes, the stones with the different symbols on it, and whatever, they came out, to being, that was the prophecy. So he was a seer. He was able to see into the future, but he used the power of the room, and so he was more like a sorcerer, and so they depict Solomon. Now, from my understanding, there's no biblical reference of Solomon being a sorcerer, but what difference do it make? Because those are, I mean, there was other books, and and just because you say, oh, okay, these are the ones that we say is the compilation, anything outside that compilation, you see, we're not going to take that into consideration. That's nonsense, because some of the books that they took out are actually older than some that's in. That don't mean much to me, because it's still a particular type of religious understanding, and some of it I take the time, but I know higher school systems of thought, schools of thought, than a lot of that, so I'm not gonna sit there and just read a lot of Christian shit, because I know it's other schools that was fine. And so if I'm gonna take my time to read, I read certain things just enough where I can, do away with you convincingly. But I'm not gonna sit there years and years and years and years reading no goddamn Christian literature. Solomon is less than, when you have to go to Solomon for any type of, and you got knowledge of ancient Egypt, Solomon is no longer even necessary. That's for a lesser nigga. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna say that. I wouldn't even waste my time when I got Tahuti and Imhotep and the great scientists and the great architects, that constructed all the temples in Egypt, and that's who I'm studying. I ain't got time to study a mythological character. When I come here and I look, and and I am, very gifted to, because I have seen a lot of symbols in my life. So if I see something, it's gonna register me to some other location. Say, oh, go look at this. Go look at that. Now, when a lot of these mystical beings, such as this, this what I guess it's a drawing of Solomon. See, they when they put them horns on the head and they give them that kind of beard, that's the pan, predominantly. But see, this is the blend, the composite Pan and Saturn. That's what it is. It's a composite. It's a composite of in those is same house. That's why you got Capricorn and Saturn. And a lot of times, Jupiter and Zeus and even Saturn, they would, because they can shape shift. Zeus, Jupiter, and Saturn can shape shift. Zeus do it. Odin was a shape shifter. You know, he was a shit. He would change. He would be down in the villages and shit with the people, and he would be something totally different. He would be a different person. He might come as a bird. He might come as any goddamn thing. You see, and so they all shapeshifted. So many times you've seen Saturn, Jupiter, Zeus take the form of what they call the satyr or the fawn. No, well, is it a fawn? I believe it is a fawn. You know, when you talk about the fanus in Roman, you see, you know, and so you got, in Roman mythology, fanus, some people call him Lupicus. You see, that's Saturn's grandson, you know, fanus. That's his grandson. Uh Fanus' father is the son of Saturn. Okay, when he left Greece and as Kronos, and he came to Rome, they called him Saturn. Okay, they call him Saturn, and he is and we're gonna talk about even Moses even being depicted in this same image, because they got the statue of Moses, and we're gonna talk about that in one of these churches, in a lot of the churches where they show him with horns. You see, and so that's that blend, that's that composite of Pan and Saturn. So that's and why do I keep saying this? And and when we get to when we just sink in what I'm telling y'all, the information will become less, because right now when you say Saturn, I say Saturn, but Saturn, you see, and you say Saturn, a lot of people say, well, what the fuck is that? Where does that come into play? We not, we not, we've never really heard Saturn. We heard other gods, but now it's Saturn. Where is this Saturn coming from? What is his power? And and the thing is, we have to run it down to people on this level that, as we look to Egypt, they look to Rome more so. Yeah, they got the Greek and, but, we talking about the manifestation of imperialism when, these Europeans move their hand all over the globe and, in an authoritative way, you feel me, where they was in control. It was through Rome. And so they, Rome, by choice of being, the premier conquering civilization that brought the colonies and so on and so forth. So the great gods of Rome are, the premier deities. You see, that's just what it is. The premier and the Greek also, because still the Greeks are still more widely known even to this day. I think so. When I do the Roman is it's it's almost like a knockoff. You feel me? Once you know the Greek and shit, you say, oh, okay, this is who you know this is who that is, and they change it just a little bit, so it look like a knockoff for the Greek. That's what it looked. But nevertheless, it was, them temples and, the great hand of Rome was more, reaching as far as being able to control empires and lands and bring colonies. It was more powerful than Greece. You see? And so Saturn is that god of choice. Pan too. It's no different than people in the culture who study ancient Egypt, and we say Amun Ra. We say Heru. We say I set. We talk about Hede, we already said Tahuti. You feel me? We talk Kanun, Ptah. We call on all them gods. That's the same for them. You have to understand that. Normally, yeah, we give credit to him. We call on all our ancestors, deities, because if it's African, it's sacred. We don't have no problem. But when we talk about the classical, the ones that just we got to give credit what credit is due. We try to level it out and say, yeah, but again, we talking about this is where we took it to heights that never been seen before. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so those we automatically we look to Egypt and Nubia, and so we call on Amen-Ra. We call on we must call on Amen-Ra. You feel what I'm saying? This is when we was at, the heights. Our hands was reaching all over the goddamn globe. We have to, and so when we were doing that, who was in charge spiritually? You see, it was Amen-Ra. Now, when we talk about building the pyramids, you see, that was during the pyramid age was during the worship of Ptah. You see, that was the worship, but we have to call Ptah just on the strength of that's just respect due. You feel me? Under this age, this was the great God that inspired, African people to do the great things that they did. We had to call Ptah. And so they do the same thing. And so Saturn is like saying one of the great gods like Amen-Ra, you see, or Ptah. He on that level to them for us. And so he takes precedence over all others, and so they're going to run it, the only other deity that they're going, and he's just like Jesus to Yahweh, and that's Zeus. That's Zeus or Jupiter, and he took, and they end up taking the thrones from their father. But see, Saturn is, and see, this is a deeper understanding that I'm gonna have to get into on another level, because it's gonna take me way over here, but it's necessary, but I ain't gonna do it today. I'm not gonna do it today on what that is. But they say Saturn is the one that came and brought civilization to the Latins. You see, his son was the first king of Latium, Latium. So I believe that's what they had before the Roman, this is when they were just starting out, you see. And his Saturn, and how did that go? Because Janus was, I believe he was the king, but by Saturn having so much knowledge and power and wisdom, he made him king. He made Saturn king. And Saturn, they say Saturn is the lawgiver. He's the lawgiver too. So when you see him with, that's some of the aspect between Moses being the lawgiver, because Saturn is supposedly come to Rome to the Latins and gave them knowledge over there. They didn't have, they was wild men, is what they saying. And he the one that brought them laws and shit and so he's the originator. You see, everything go back to him. You know what I'm saying? So they, and so they say even Rome at one time was called the city of Saturn. And see, why am I teaching y'all that? Because I'm going to show you that every fucking thing you believe in, nigga, one way or another, is a cut of a manifestation of this deity. Even the way how these motherfucking gods look. You see? Every last one of them. The motherfucker in the Sistine Chapel look just like one of them goddamn statues, no less. Everywhere you go, that older deity, and he was the primordial deity that all these other because he not trying to look, he's the first. You see? So even Zeus and all of them, they in manifestation of Saturn. So this is what I'm talking. If you're in the occult, it's going to go back to him. It's going to go back to him. That's what it's going to go back. And it's going to go back to Pan. That's his other half. You see? That's his other half. So when you start dealing with that occult shit, you know what I'm saying? From that, that Roman aspect, you going through, you got the other mysteries. You got Dionysus, what's the other one name? Orpheus. You got Dionysus, you got Orpheus. You got a couple, you got them other, secret orders, you see. But, they didn't get, the when you talk about how they donate to these different deities, Saturn was getting giant ass temples. You see what I'm saying? Getting giant ass temples now. And so knowing that, and see, now watch me drop this jewel now. I had to give y'all, and now you see here, Now you look to the right, that's Saturn, depicted, half and half. He the deity, but he's also the goat. And when I was saying, like, yeah, his son was the first king of Latinum, which is the city of the Latins, you see. And what they say is his son ends up marrying the daughter of Janus, the god Janus or January. And from that, they end up having Phaneus. So the goat is in his ass. Saturn, he's the goat. He's also the goat. And so that's why they depict him with horn. Now, when you come down here, you see, so when you looking at this already, you know that this is a facade, Yeah, there's some things in there but you already know that this is some more recent occult, studies, and that's what it is. And though it may have some more, what they quote unquote, can't none of it fuck with the Nile Valley. That's all I can tell you. They keep talking all that Kabbalah shit. Them motherfuckers was in the cave. Right now, I do believe where people can manifest a power. You understand? But it ain't on our frequency. You see, now if you play their game, that means immediately if you use their textbook to do your magic, they got you, nigga. You come into their lamp. That's a trick. You see? That's a goddamn trick. You can create your own goddamn magic. You don't need that shit. I'm just saying. You can start from goddamn scratch and work your frequency and energy. You don't need that. You see, this is true witchcraft. And I can say that. I'm not saying it like, I went inside of the motherfucker. I went inside of it. And when I went inside of it, I started, I knew a lot of, because I had occult books. So I knew the names of demons and angels and shit. And, all this is Kabbalah. That's all it is Kabbalah. That ain't nothing but Jewish witchcraft. You can call it whatever the fuck you want to call it. That's what I call it, Jewish witchcraft. And these was things that I came to of my own understanding. I didn't need nobody to give, because before I even started studying the African studies, I was still a bookworm. I was still into geography. I was still into history. I was still into religion. I was studying the Bible. You see, I was studying the Bible. Even then, I was studying the occult. I knew, I wasn't studying it to practice. I had reference books on the occult. And so I was just like encyclopedias where they give you a little bit of everything, give you a little it could be on ghost, poltergeist. They give you a little part, half a page. And, so I studied. And so I knew some of the demons. And so when I went into the book and I started to look at what they call them sigils, sigils, I looked at the names. I say, them is demons, And I, when I seen that they had demons in the book, yeah, that's all it is. When I went in there and I seen it had demons in the book, I say, oh no. I even refused to even speak that shit out loud. I wouldn't even speak that shit out loud. And that's real talk. Now, let me show y'all something. So y'all can see. Now this is now you see this is supposed to be Solomon. You see King Solomon's 44 seals of ancient magic. Now, when you come here, it's gonna clear up. That's that megapixel. Now, this is in the Christian church where they got Moses with horns. Now, that's not the only one they show him with horns. But you see Pan right there, and it'd be damn near impossible to tell which one is which. You see? Don't be played. Don't get played. All these motherfuckers are composites of either Saturn or Pan. You cannot put any other, and because Amin-Ra is not a goat. Amin-Ra is a ram. Okay, that's the difference between a goat and a damn ram. A goat is a goat. A ram is a male sheep. Okay, he's different. Let that be known. And so we have to separate the goats from the sheep. Got to do that. Okay. And so when you look at you see Pan, and then you see both of these, you see what supposedly is Peter and got the damn ring on his head. That's Saturn. That ain't no damn. You got Pan and Saturn. They still worshiping them deities. They, but it's cryptic. It's under shroud. They'll put it right in your face and tell you one thing, knowing damn well it's enough. You see? And so when you look down here, you see this one statue. I like this with Pan, and you see he got a mask up. He got the face of Zeus. He got the face of Jupiter. He got the face of Saturn. They're just letting you know that Pan is in all of their ass. That's why they call him, that one large temple over there that they dedicated to all the gods. It's like the one temple that they had still standing after all that pillaging of Rome. It was called the Pantheon. Because all the deities was in there. All of them. You go in there, it's still, they didn't turn it into a church today. But they had, vegetables, vegetables where you could put a statue, how they have them all around. And so you could put one, a statue of each god in the vegetables. You know what I'm saying? And that's called the Pantheon. And so it's called the Pantheon because he's in all of them. He's a composite of all they have, one way or another, them great gods. And like I say, it has come down through almost every religion, whether it's Lucifer and Jesus, because Jesus is a Saturn archetype. If you listen to how part of it, he's coming with the reaper. He coming as the reaper, the harvest, because Saturn is also the god of harvest. He walks with the sickle. Okay, he walks with the sickle, and so now Jesus he's the reaper. You see, he coming for the harvest. And another thing, when you hear Jesus say, "No man know, not even the Son, only the Father, what time," you feel me? The day and the time of my return. And I'm paraphrasing. So when you hear him say time, knowing that Saturn in the Greek is Chronos, he's Father Time. So he said, no man know the hour, nor the Son, only the Father. That day and time and hour of my return. So he yielded, and the key was time. You see, even the way he dressed is Saturn. When you see him with the hood on his head, that's Saturn. And crazy enough, I'm going to show y'all even deeper what that shit is. They all around you, and they done created every motherfucking holiday that you practice right now today. Okay, you talking about it, but this is Christmas. This is the mosque. This is the Catholic Church. That I want y'all to know that. You see, they the one that didn't put this together. And so when you start talking about that Solomon, and you start talking about now the numerology could be, that's universal. I looked at some of the numbers, the 72, and there's many what you would call understandings about that. I know some numbers. I'm not a master of that number, and I can yield on that. But the other aspects of, symbolism, I'm very clear on what it is. And so when you're talking about Solomon's You know, that alone, and the 72 demons. And that right there, some people deal with the demons. You know, the Kabbalists, they tell you that they invoke demons. I'm not invoking shit. You can invoke whatever you want to invoke. I don't even speak that shit. If y'all get if y'all get shit like that, I wouldn't even speak it. I wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? I let that motherfucker. Now, if you command it, if you just, for research, but all that shit up under the sigil and shit, it's all right to say, oh, I seen the name of Beelzebub, but don't go to read none of that shit down there. You see all this shit, the incantations and shit. Don't do that. Take that shit. You might as well set that shit on fire, because it ain't shit. Like I said, when you understand the power of ancient Egypt, that shit right there is like a comic book. Because we is the only people on the planet that prove beyond no doubt that we had the highest sciences of any people on the planet. You understand what I'm saying? We had already traveled, you see, into the astronomy, into the cosmology. We knew where the center of the galaxy was. We had already mapped out the stars. In the solar year, the great year, we had already laid that out. You see, and so this here, though I'm into the sacred etymology, I'm into the frequency, I'm into that. But they on a mood, even that they think they occult. But based on our sciences, they mudang. And not only is they mudang, they wrong as hell. They into some lower state shit where they ain't calling demon. Nigga, we ain't calling nothing but the creator of everything out here and her manifestation and his manifestation. That's what we ain't got no time to play with that. No, sir. No. Nah, like I said, I can go in it, but I don't do it because it's witchcraft, And like I say, they pride themselves in, and I can show you, and I'm gonna go and move to the next. As we move to and I'll show you before I get out of here that I'm not just being, where some people just say, no, it's witchcraft. You see? It's witchcraft. And just to show you right here, even dealing with Star Trek, that's Pan. That, they're going all the way in with he manifesting damn near everything. He manifesting damn near everything. And so if we can keep doing it, we can go to the goddamn what's his name? Uncle Sam, another one with the goat hair and shit in the, Pan. Nah, where is that? Here you go. They call him a Sheyid. A Sheyid. Almost say Sheyid. Sheyid. I guess that's their word for demon, or Sheydim, or Sheydim. Sheydim, demons, plural. And up here you got what is it again? A Sheyid. A Sheyid. Okay, while demon is the most common English translation, it tends to flatten the concept. Judaism has a different relationship with its evil creatures and spirits. Everything serves a purpose in our universe. Everything is made by and connected to the divine. Sheydim are entities most often serving wicked purposes, falling somewhere between angels and humans on a scale of holy being and animal. So they have a different relationship. They call on them motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? They call on them. Nah, just to black it up, and you see a lot of them sigils, lead back to Saturn, lead back to Pan. So when now what's crazy, the same sigil for Azazel is the same sigil for Saturn. Okay, the same one, because he also is the goat. He also the GOAT, same one, same symbol. So you seeing it. So if we get to, and so that's, Azazel, that's Kabbalah. When you talk about, Solomon, you talking Kabbalah. You see, so that gonna go back to Saturn. And when you understand that El was the equivalent to Saturn, that's their way, and they celebrate their Sabbath or Shabbat on Saturday. On Saturday, when you look at the days of the week, why is it that Saturn, out of the Roman deities, was the only god where they didn't change his name in the calendar? You see, because they saw him as the supreme deity of all deities. That was the only one that they really respected on that level. Everybody else could be replaced, but Saturn couldn't be replaced. You see, so again, when you're looking at that just to lead you back. You can go through there and fall in and all that, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to historically see what is the primordial, and that's what I'm going to start from the beginning. And if I go to the source, you see, if I go to the source and the more prolific of the school of thought, I won't even waste my time. I'll look at some of the symbolisms. I make clear that this is a knockoff. Yeah, they got some of the same symbols, this, that, and the third, but this come much later. You see, this got contamination in it. But if you want to move more to what the truth is, you try to get as ancient as you can and start from there. And then as you move forward, you will see how these other sciences come to be, because you're going to see them rise up out of nothing, because that shit wasn't always here. Now, it very well may have been when they was in them caves, because actually the magic and the witchcraft is actually their first religion. They didn't have no Torahs and damn Talmud. They didn't have none of that. Them first books was them Cabalistic books, because that's what they was into. Okay, and that's why they ain't let it go to this damn day. That was the shit they was originally in. Okay, and so we'll dig deeper into that, as we move forward. We can't do it on one day. Azazel was a demon until Baal defeated him. Okay, that's right. Good. I'm gonna do the historical aspect of it, but I tell you what. Don't be reading that shit out loud, especially at night. God damn it, you hear something knocking, god damn it. You better get the fuck on up out of there. You better get to moving. All right, family, we be right black. This is General Sorcerer Seti. He said, hey, arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on that wicked ass beast daily. Liberation through African education and confrontation, black power.